Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another session of Walk with Me, where we walk through the scriptures and take physical walks at the same time. Well, I'm sitting right now, so I'm not taking a physical walk, but you get the drift, right? So, anyway, so today we are talking about what's our scripture today? Our scripture today is Ezra 7. But it's not just Ezra 7. We stopped at Ezra 3. So we're going to go to Ezra 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this is deliberate. That's because I think we have enough material to have a good conversation. So starting from Ezra 4, the people of Israel went and they started rebuilding the wall. And, I think by Ezra 3, they had stopped. But then a word of prophecy then came from Zechariah and Haggai, and the word of prophecy was go back and start rebuilding. And if you look, I can't remember where it was. It says that the hand of Zerubbabel has started the work, and his hand will complete it. That was that. That's where that script. That's where that prophecy came from. And so they began to rebuild. Israel began to rebuild. They didn't go and consult with anybody again. They didn't have any conversation. They just started doing what God told them to do. They didn't ask for permission, nothing. And then the people that were against the rebuilding now went to the king and that was King Darius, and they were like, oh, these people, they are problematic people, blah, blah, blah. But Israel did something differently this time. This time they went to court and they got themselves represented. So while we understand that the enemy will continue to do his thing, the reason why the enemy always seems to prevail over the children of God is that we don't show up in court. He is constantly in court, causing trouble. So, in our case, there's a spiritual court, because when Daniel had visions where the court was seated in heaven, and the enemy is presenting his case every day against you. Are you showing up in court? Are you showing up? Because sometimes it's getting judgment against you because of your absence. So, do you show up in court every day? Do you have a time when you go to God and you're like, God, this is what you go with your own report, and then let God give you the proper report, and He gives you the words to say? So, anyway, Israel showed up in court, and Israel was able to prove that King Cyrus told us that we should build this thing again. And when King Darius was going to judge the matter, he added cost that anybody that should stop them from building, that let them remove a timber from his house and use it to hang him, so that it would be an example. Cyrus's own was simple. It was friendly. Darius was not laughing with the people because they've wasted time. There was delay just because some people were troublemakers. So Darius crowned his own with a curse. Huh? So when they finished that and everyone was good with that, then we move on to Artaxerxes. I think what would I say shook me about Artaxerxes was that he wrote a letter to Ezra because he wanted Ezra to go and teach the people, but he referred to himself as King of Kings. That is God's title too, right? And we always say that, oh, Nebuchadnezzar was a king of kings and all. But Nebuchadnezzar's problem was that pride was in him. That was why being king of kings was a problem for Nebuchadnezzar. In Artaxerxes' case, he was a king of kings, but he also understood that he was subject to the ultimate king of kings. And if you see, his tone was so respectful of God. He was so like, don't let anybody, as in everybody should just bow to the God of heaven. And he was like, be praying for the king and his sons. There was humility in his own King of Kings. So the fact that you're King of Kings does not mean that you will be proud. The problem is not being King of Kings. The problem is pride. So share your thoughts with us. I would like to hear from you too.